We've both made bold bets for every NFC team in 2024. Now it's time to take each other up on them today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As the playoffs wind down, the sports stop sporting like we want them to, but this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a booster bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone, every day, all summer long. Just visit FanDuel.com to get started.
I almost called out. I had to get a new beverage because we're doing a doubleheader today. I almost called out like Pat Mahomes said, I'm here. I'm here.
Man.
I'm here.
Just minutes after you predicted that the Raiders were going to
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't have to lace up and play Pat. So
no,
I could have – it's funny, right? It is funny.
Did the Dolphins get the Chiefs this year?
No. Didn't finish in first place. So
I hate that for you.
I hate that for me too. That's a real bummer.
Yeah. Maybe
everybody sit here talking about the Dolphins are 1-6 against playoff teams. They played 4 games against the Bills and Chiefs last year.
Take it or leave it. The Dolphins play the Chiefs this year.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right.
Ideally not around in Arrowhead, but I would take it for sure because that means you got to where you want to go and give yourself a chance every single year, right?
Would you take it? Okay, take it or leave it. It's week one of the playoffs in Kansas City.
I'd probably still take it because I have to, right? Like, what am I
so you
say?
Can live with any other result is possible. You could be hosting the Cleveland Browns.
A very competitive division in the AFC East this year, but this isn't about the AFC.
Right.
Today's about the NFC. Well, today's about the entire league, but we spent 30 minutes doing what was supposed to be 32 teams, and we did 16 teams. So we impromptu decided we're double-headering, which is why we are here now on another episode in your queue to get into bold bets. If you're watching the NFC show first, Joe and I this week spent the entire week separately making bold bets for all 32 teams. The individual shows for Kyle's AFC and NFC and Joe's AFC and NFC kind of get into the rationale behind a lot of the picks. And we maybe go into a little bit here on this show, but this show is more about, I don't know what his bold bets are, and he doesn't know what my bold bets are. So we reveal them to each other, and then we decide which ones we're going to take up on and be the official like Draft Dudes bets for the 2024 season. AFC's already done. It's in the hopper. The hay is in the barn. Not in the NFC. Although Aaron Cromer will tell you, Joe, the hay is never in the barn.
Hay is never in. You know what? I have had 2 conversations with him this week, and neither time I mentioned that. Thursday, I'm going up to him. I was like, Coach,
can we talk about the hay being in the barn?
Can we talk? Yeah. I got to do it. I got to do it.
See what he says.
Yeah, I'm going to on Thursday. I'll do it.
I bet he would. He'd probably be really fired up that you watch.
He would think that's so funny. Yeah, I'm hitting him with that on Thursday for sure.
Great. All right. Well, let's get into the NFC side of things. We'll start. You want to start in the North since I know that's where your notes are
yeah, please. You know me. I got to stay on schedule here.
And this is not any rhyme or reason for the order of the teams. We're going to start with the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, there is rhyme or reason. It's just not. We can't tell anybody.
All right, no, we'll say. All right. So we did this last year, and when we did it last year, the order that we did and revealed was the order that the teams finished in the division the previous season. So, like Minnesota won the North in 2022, and then when we went to do it this year, I just copy and pasted it from last year. So the template has the 2022 division standings.
Yeah,
is the order that the teams are listed, and Joe wanted to get his notes properly organized so we didn't have to like exchange teams as we went. So
Kyle's like, I know how I did this. 2022 divisional order. I'm like, okay,
great job, Kyle.
Why
like,
didn't you pick 1997? What kind of idea is this? All right, Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah,
I have Aaron Jones, 1,500 yards from scrimmage.
Okay. I have Justin Jefferson 2000. Running it back. I had it last year.
You always are so aggressive, man.
That's the point of bowl bets.
I know, but it puts me in an uncomfortable place. Okay, all right.
Well, I thought you did a nice job in the AFC side of things.
Okay,
bringing a lot of aggressive, compelling, but well thought out and well intentioned bold bets.
But like I predict like career high stuff. You predict like NFL history stuff.
How many NFL history things did I predict?
No, I just feel like yours are so aggressive.
Okay, well let's go to Detroit Lions then. You tell me what's so aggressive about me picking Aidan Hutchinson to win DPOY this year.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. That's incredibly aggressive. There's aggressive. How many defensive players are there in the NFL?
Brother, you picked an individual guy to win MVP.
I know.
What's the difference?
All right.
And my thought process was they got better up front, but they really don't still have another premium sack guy.
Yeah. And you feel like everyone's ready to love the Lions, right?
Right. And dude, they lost John Kaminsky yesterday too. Did you see that?
No, I didn't actually. That's
his knee ligament tear. He may be back in time for the postseason, but will be out for the regular season. It sounds like
that's
cool. A total bummer for them.
I have the Lions run defense allowing 3.5 yards per carry or lower for the season.
You got those big hogs in the middle.
Yeah, bro. They couldn't run the ball on the Lions last year, and it was Benito Jones, a running mate for Lee McNeil. Now they got
Miami
DJ
Dolphins
Reader.
Legend Benito Jones.
He's gonna be better than Raekwon Davis. I have no doubt in my mind. But like, point being, I think DJ Reader might be a little better, Kyle. Respectfully,
yes, he is. As long as he's healthy, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fun. The Packers. What do you have for the Packers?
I just hope it's aggressive enough, you know? I have Jordan Love becoming the second quarterback in the history of Green Bay Packers to throw 40 touchdowns in a season.
Unacceptable.
I know. I should have went with like
should 80. Be 55. Should be
55 at least, yeah.
Mine is that Matt LaFleur sweeps his former coaching teammates in 5-day stretch when he beats Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel in 5 days.
That's a real thing that happens. They play the Dolphins and 49ers, and
they play the 49ers on Sunday, and then on Thanksgiving they play the Dolphins.
You have a Thanksgiving game? Why is this not clicking for me?
Yeah,
is it a night game?
Yeah, it's the last game.
Oh my God, you got to stay up late and watch the Dolphins on
Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think I'm gonna eat dinner at like 11 and then sleep and then get up for the game.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Chicago Bears. I have Caleb sets franchise record for passing yards only in a single season. I did not do the Trevor Lawrence thing last year where we do yards and touchdowns, just passing yards.
So he tops Eric Kramer at what, 3,898 yards?
3,838 was what I had.
All right. Okay, so I have I have a Caleb Williams metric, and it's a little softer than yours. I have Caleb Williams topping 3,500 passing yards, which would make him only the third quarterback in franchise history to do it. Of course, Eric Kramer did it, and Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler did it like 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Threw like 20 picks every time he did it.
Listen, it's fine. We're not predicting interception totals here.
That's right. All right, so that's let me copy paste.
I'll copy paste as well.
What do you like here?
Well, this is an interesting situation because yesterday, or when I say yesterday, I mean 10 minutes ago, you burned your veto in like immediately. So I had this wonderful opportunity the rest of the way to navigate without threat of a veto. So that's interesting. But I'm taking stuff here. I'll take the top 3. I'll take Justin Jefferson 2K. I'll take Aidan Hutchinson DPOY, and I'll take LaFleur sweeping Shanahan and McDaniel in a 5-day stretch.
Okay.
Are both those? Hold on. Are both of those games home? Okay, that's helpful. That's probably a big part of your thought process. And those revenge games mean a lot for teams during the regular season. I might stay away from that, but that would be a fun thing for. Keep it. You can veto it if you want.
I'm taking 1,500 yards for Aaron Jones. I think the veil and threat of health and availability for him it's kind of popped up feels like every other year. He was awesome down the stretch last year. I'm just a little mindful of that as far as him hitting that volume. I'll take Jordan Love 40 passing touchdowns.
Oh, you did that, huh?
It's just such a high number.
I know.
You know? Like, you could pass for 38 touchdowns, and like you probably have one of the best 3 seasons in the league, and that still wouldn't qualify for that. Like that.
How many did he have last year? Didn't he have like close to that?
30. He had 30.
He had 30. Okay. All right, that's fun. I like it. That's what we're locking in. No vetoes?
Let me
Yet?
hold on. I'll make sure I get that stat right. 32.
32.
32
right.
last year.
Very good. We're pacing much better today. Kyle Crabbs are on this second episode today. Coming up on the other side of it, we're getting to more NFC teams. Be sure to stick with us. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber and not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers.
All right. So we're going to go to the East next.
Beginning with the 2022 division champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles is first on our list, yeah. I have Saquon finish his third on the team in targets.
Ooh, third. So the 2 receivers. So you're basically saying he out-targets Dallas Goedert. That's basically what you're at.
Who had like mid-80s last year. And if you took Gainwell and Swift last year and combined them, they were about 10 targets short of Goedert.
So you're expecting a massive receiving opportunity.
I mean,
Kellen Moore is a lot of the thought process here.
It's part of the thought process. It's also what they invested in him, and it's the fact that the Giants did the Christian McCaffrey thing with him and ran their whole offense through him. So I think there's going to be some of that.
Yeah. I think that'd be good for Philadelphia if that was true. That means that there's check down options in the offense this year. That will be helpful for Jalen Hurts, right?
Right.
Philadelphia, I have 10 sacks or more for Jalen Carter. Only 3 defensive tackles in the NFL top 10 last year. Put me down for 10 for Carter in year 2.
All right. How about the Dallas Cowboys?
Here's one of my piss off the fan base bets. 9 wins or less for Dallas in 2024.
Those fans are not excited about that team. You see the standings in camp?
Kyle, they're every team, every fan base finds optimism for their team right now. Like I'm pretty sure every fan base has talked themselves into 10 wins in the playoffs this year. Dallas fans are besides themselves because they know the offseason was a disaster. It's not defensive.
Right. I have Dak leaving.
Okay.
And if I had to pick a team, I'd say Vegas.
Vegas feels like the one, right?
They'd get aggressive.
Why do I feel like Tennessee needs to be part of that conversation too?
Because you've written the tombstone for Will Levis.
I just hate the fit. I'm listening to Brian Callahan talk about route depth and precision timing in the passing offense, and I'm like, well, you've got the receivers for it, but that's not Will Levis.
I think that could be a great fit in that offense if they chose to go that direction.
Yeah, I think it's like Titans fans, I hear you're like, we didn't spend all the money that we did this offseason to not be a playoff contender.
For the record, I have them at 8-8 going into week 18. Now, I don't think that necessarily qualifies as playoff contender in this ridiculous conference that every team is doomed to compete in, where you could have 10 wins and be the 9th team in the conference.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. All right, what do I need to disclose? We did Dallas. I said 9 wins or less, and you said
so you're up to speed. I said Dak leaves.
Okay.
The Giants.
Can he go to the NFC? Can he go to some team in the NFC? Actually, like, can we not say Tennessee?
Who are the contenders? Who are the contenders in the NFC?
Seattle, I guess.
That'd be fun with those receivers.
The Giants, come on, right? That would
Giants
just be
would be
weird.
fun. And that's a great segue into me having the Giants as the team that finishes with the first overall pick for 2025.
I have Devin Singletary with his first 1,000-yard rushing season. He's never had 900. He's had 1,000 yards from scrimmage a lot. He's been the lead ball carrier for.
But he's just good for 890 rushing yards.
890 rushing yards.
4.5 yards per carry.
Yep. He's available all the games. Yeah.
He's probably did bet behind that offensive line.
I mean, you got the right side at Greg Van Roten and Jermaine Illumineur. Let's go,
the Raiders' offensive line from last year. So we want that here. Give it
Run
to
you in. They got John Michael Schmitz and Andrew Thomas. Let's go. Let's pound the rock, baby.
If you're a team that needs offensive line help, are you calling the Giants about Evan Neal?
Not if I need offensive line help. I've seen the tape, brother. I've seen the tape.
I would call. And I would call if maybe there was any opportunity to move him inside to guard. And do the Eric Flowers thing.
Okay, if you're Miami or if you're just a team.
Just a team in general. Like I would hope that Miami does call, but I'm not putting it through that specific lens. I'm saying if I'm a team that's like, I really don't have all 5 spots settled on my offensive line with well-established players, and there's a lot of teams that are like that.
Right, you can
why would you not call?
You roll the dice. But if you're the Giants, here's the thing that's interesting about Evan Neal. This regime picked him.
Right. It was the second pick that they made. Because it was Thibodeau was first.
Thibodeau was first, right? Yeah, and then Neal went 7.
Yeah.
The Giants have had too much resources in the form of cap space and draft capital for this roster to look like it does in year 3 of Shane and Dable.
Which is why I've been picking first in the NFL.
And I like those guys. I was rooting for those guys, but this roster stinks. Okay.
The Commanders, what do you got?
All right. You got to pay attention on this one. Jaden Daniels.
Wait, you did give me your Giants. Okay, go ahead.
Devin Singletary.
I'll shut up.
Jaden Daniels paces for 1,000 rushing yards in games that he starts.
So that's like 58 rushing yards a game.
Whatever it would be. Yeah. So in the games that he starts, if you take that across 17 games, it equals 1,000 yards rushing. Because like
8, I did that math off the top of my head.
I think you've probably spent a lot of time in your life thinking about what the pace is for 1,000 yards, and that was ready for recall. 100%, 100% what's been going on in your mind, and your recall is just better than mine. So, you understand what I'm going through. So, like, the concern is injuries, and then if they're going to play Mariota at all. Okay, good.
I get it. I have Jaden Daniels leads the team in rushing yards.
Oh, that's outstanding. That's outstanding. Because you feel like Eckler and Robinson are going to hurt each other.
Right. They're going to eat into each other. And then Eckler in general, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be I wouldn't have it that way. Robinson would run the ball 250 times for me, and Eckler would probably run it maybe 50 times, but maybe have 50 targets. Yeah. That's how I would do it. Be 250 touches for Robinson and 100 for Eckler. Be kind of what I would do. Okay. So I need to put these. Yeah, I got to put them in the thing here, huh? See what I like.
The thing with the thing.
Do the thing here.
There you go.
Right. There you go, Kyle Crabbs. Kyle, I'm not touching any of yours.
Really?
Yeah, I like them all. Every single one of them I like. I feel like if I had to pick one, which I don't, I would pick the Giants. Being the number one.
Just you have the field at your disposal.
Yeah, I like legitimately believe 3 of these things to be true.
Yeah. I kind of want to take Dallas.
They won 13 games or 12 games the last 3 years.
Yeah.
They won a lot of games.
So let me think about this. They've had some interior offensive line turnover. I'm not worried about Dak being distracted by the contract situation. Sounds like they're working on CD. Defensively, there's a scheme change away from Dan Quinn. Stylistically, still will be pretty similar, though.
Yep.
They get Trayvon Diggs back. They play 4 games against the Giants and the Commanders.
Helpful.
I think
you need to win 5 more. You win those 4 games and 5 more, you get to 9. But I need you got to win 10.
Right, you got to hit 10, which is why I hate that you did that.
What was funny is I went to FanDuel afterwards because I was like, I don't know this team wins 10 games. I think it's 9. You know what the over-under's at? 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
There's your FanDuel plug. I'm going to stay away from it. I will take 10 sacks for Jalen Carter.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of competition on that defensive line. I would not be surprised if Vic takes advantage of a little bit more rotation than what he had last year when he had 13 guys on the Dolphins defensive depth chart that he liked, and those guys just had to play all the time. So 10 sacks, I think he's more than capable of getting it. It's just, what if he gets 9 and there's competition for the other guys?
He'll have a great season and get 9.
Right.
Much like Christian Wilkins. What do you have, 9?
9.
At Oliver had 9.5. Great seasons. Wasn't 10 though, right?
Right. Wasn't 10.
Wasn't 10.
Hit 10. And they were amazing players this year.
It was Matableek was one of them. Chris Jones and some other guy.
Zach Sealer.
It's exactly who it was. Zach Sealer. There you go. Does casual people know that Zach Sealer had more sacks than Christian Wilkins last year?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
There you go.
And they got him under contract for $12 million.
Yeah, it's a freaking good contract. I hate that one. All right. Southwest, not the airline, but the divisions.
South
coming up
and
here
then West.
on the other side of it. Be sure to stick with us. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games and the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime that I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a booster bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Maybe you think that the Dallas Cowboys are on the other side of 9.5 wins. They're going to get 10 or more. Well, go to FanDuel. You can get in on that right now, as well as all the footballs over under projections and the MVP odds and player stats. Check it out. Head on over to FanDuel.com and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball.
I have a bold bet that's not related to any of the 8 teams that we have to do still.
This seems like a perfect time to let us know what that is.
Fans we're going to continue to get irrationally concerned tweets about snap issues at training camp on July 31st.
Yeah, I hope some of that stuff cleans up, right?
Miami's had a rough 2 days with snaps at practice, and 75% of them have come from their 2 UDFA centers in Ireland Brown and Andrew Meyer. It's like
fake names.
Stop practice. Just make everybody run wind sprints. Like, yeah, make Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Ramsey run wind sprints because the UDFA centers shotgun in a snap to a different zip code. That'll totally fly with the dudes. Yeah.
I think you should try it. I think they should make them run. When I was in 6th grade, my dad was the head coach, and he was a big make everybody run, and we had for his go-to line was take the tour, go take the tour, which was a run. He ran a lap around the field. Go take the tour. Tell Tyreek Hill, go take the tour. Yeah, this guy that has no prayer of making a practice squad, airmailed the snap. Take the tour, Tyreek Hill.
That's the Brian Flores, the accountability wall. They had a wall. He had to go run and touch the wall every time he made a mistake.
Oh, really?
Brian Flores was there his first year. Yeah. The TNT wall, it takes no talent. Things that take no talent.
And I sort of like some of that in theory, but it's kind of goofy.
It's kind of hard for
pro. It feels like a college thing, right?
Yeah. Like Nick Saban would have that. Stumble bum. All right, let's quit stumble bumming and get into the NFC South. With the 2022 division champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading the charge. Here's the other example of a thing that happened last year that was
Wait, didn't the Bucs win it last year too?
They did, yeah.
Back to back. Are they back to back champions?
And the year before with Tom, yeah, they won.
Wow, this is 3 in a row. The Bucs own this division right now.
All right. This is another example of a bet of something that happened last year, but the overall historical body of work of it happening, I think it's maybe a little more aggressive than the one with the AFC, which was Cleveland wins 11 games back-to-back for the first time since the late 40s. Baker makes it 6 consecutive 4,000-yard passing seasons for the Bucs.
Wow. And that's very cool because that's a lot of different quarterbacks that combine to do that.
Well, right. There's Jameis for a year, threw for 5,030 interceptions. And then Tom came in and did it. And then Baker did it last year. So there are only, as of right now, 8 single seasons with 4,000 yards passing for the Bucs in franchise history, and 5 of the 8 have been the last 5 seasons.
And the Bears have never had one.
Correct.
It's phenomenal. I love that bet. Can you say it one more time? Baker Mayfield
makes it 6 consecutive 4,000-yard passing seasons for Tampa Bay starting quarterbacks.
That's fun for only the reason of at least telling us that data that probably people never put together.
Right.
For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I had the Buccaneers in the bottom half of the NFL in scoring defense for the first time since Bowles' first season in 2019. They've been pretty good too.
Bowles hater.
Nah, I hate hater of the personnel. I don't. Who's your cornerback too? Who's your middle linebacker? Who's your other pass rushers? I don't know, man. I got questions.
Okay.
Now, what helps them is playing the Saints and the Panthers. That's
right.
Gonna help
I hope you're right, because that would mean they'd have to throw the ball and score some points. And then make Baker one right.
I think I'm not touching that Baker one. I think he does pass for 4,000 yards.
Yeah. Even amidst the scheme or the offensive coordinator change there too, with Canales leaving to take the job in Carolina, which is the next team that we have in the queue. What do you got for the Panthers?
Second place, 2022 Carolina Panthers.
Second place.
This is the hardest one I had.
This was the last team I filled in. I'm like, What do I do here that's bold?
Well, because I didn't want to touch anything with the offense, because who knows? And then I felt better about the defense, but it's like a little bit difficult to come up with defensive things. So this is what I landed on. Jairo Avero, their outstanding defensive coordinator, is somebody's head coach after the season.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I think he gets it. There's a big appetite for defensive-minded head coaches this cycle too. I like it.
Not if you're drafting a quarterback, right?
I saw some defensive-minded head coaches like Dan Quinn and Matt Eberflus.
The stability of that is a little bit more questionable.
Right.
We'd like to have that. I have Derek Brown post 7.5 or more sacks.
That's huge. What's his career high? 3?
Yeah.
He gets
the Christian Wilkins.
Kyle, I queued up something with Derek Brown. I'm like, okay, I'm going to some sack totals here. I was like, oh my God, I think he's like,
yeah, it's
3.
not good. It's not good.
7 is what you have, Matt?
7.5.
7.5. I'm probably taking that.
Yeah.
Okay.
New Orleans Saints. I have offense and defense both ranked 17th or worse. So bottom half of the league in yards.
The defense is the interesting part there.
Mm-hmm.
They've been good on defense.
But
plenty of reason to believe this on offense.
But Carolina invested new skill players, invested in the offensive line. Tampa Bay had their resurgence. Atlanta with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. This division's better. And when you look at New Orleans and how they've been able to really allocate a lot of their impressive numbers, a lot of that has come to some degree courtesy of, and I think they were 13th in yards last year. They were top 10 in scoring defense. And I stayed away from points because I think they can still be really good in the red zone and keep the point total down. But I think these divisional games, the teams are going to be able to move the ball a little bit more.
I have 1,000 yards from scrimmage for Rashid Shaheed.
I love it.
I love him. I want him to be on my favorite team so bad.
No, the Bills would have that'd be a fever dream for me. That can't happen.
Right.
The Bills would have a trip with him.
He's been like an exclusive rights free agent and a restricted free agent. I'm like, just hit the streets, brother. We know they can't pay you. I want you to be on my team. Yeah, I love him. Baller.
And then the Falcons.
All right, let me give you mine. This is one of the ones that I really liked because I felt like it was kind of aggressive.
Okay.
Drake London is the first Falcons wide receiver in their history, not named Julio Jones, to top 1,400 receiving yards. Guy's never had 1,000 yards in his career. 1,400 yards or more this year.
That is aggressive. I can confirm that's aggressive. Mine is Bijan Robinson.
Oh,
relax. Relax. It's not the same. I said I scaled my bold bet from Bijan back from last year. Averages 5 yards per carry or more on 250 plus carries this season. He would be the second Atlanta Falcons running back to do that in a single season. Warwick Dunn did it once on 280 carries.
Jamal Anderson didn't do that in his big Super Bowl year?
Not over 5 yards per carry.
How normal is that? Like, if you don't have the answer, that's fine. But like, do running backs do that?
I can tell you how normal it is for the Falcons. It's happened once before in franchise history.
Who led the league in rushing last year? What player? Christian McCaffrey, I'm pretty sure. And you think he averaged over 5 yards a carry?
Oh, let's find out.
I could certainly see this happening.
5.4 on 272 rushes. So
do you have the NFL leading rushers up from last year?
I can get it.
I would like to know who the qualifiers, if anybody did this last year.
Well, McCaffrey did it last year. Confirmed.
Right. Who else was up there?
All right.
James Cook was fourth. I don't know if did he have 250 carries?
Let's see. We have Derrick Henry led the league in attempts, averaged 4.2.
Yeah.
Rashad White was third in the league in carries, or tied with McCaffrey for second. He averaged 3.6.
Wow.
ETN had 267 and it had 3.8. Joe Mixon 257 had 4.0. Najee Harris 255. He managed to crack the 4.0 line, so congrats to him for that. Tony Pollard 252, 4 yards per carry. Saquon Barkley did not even get 250 carries and still had 3.9. Chuba Hubbard 238, 3.8.
What was James Cook?
237, 4.7.
So I didn't hit either one. This is okay. That's
the
fun.
top 10. That's the top 10 last year in rushing.
I like it. I like that bet. So that's Atlanta for you.
Yes.
Okay, we got to put him in the sheet.
What do you have for the Falcons again? Oh, it was the
Drake London, 1,400 yards.
1,400 yards. Yeah, I'll shut up.
No worries. Dump him in here. Okay, I like your Tampa one. I'd like to take Carolina. Derek Brown, 7.5 sacks. Here comes the veto. And Saints offense and defense ranking 17th or worse. I just think their defense is going to be pretty good.
Okay, I'm going to mark you down for both, and I'm going to decide when I want to use my veto at the end.
Okay. Smart move, Kyle Crabbs. You learned a little lesson from last time.
Joe fleeced me last time. I'm going to take Bucks bottom half scoring defense.
It's a good one to take.
I'm going to take Ejiro Evero, head coach after the season. And I'm probably taking Drake London 1,400 yards.
Interesting. Because you don't think much of the Saints offense, obviously, but you think Olave's going to get his.
It's just explosive plays, right? And it's yards from scrimmage.
Yeah.
So there's
not that he gets a ton of carries, but I just felt like if I needed another 30 yards, I might get him there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to get too greedy.
I like it.
All right, so let's go to the West. San Francisco 49ers up first. They are the NFL's last undefeated team of 2024. This is most notable because they play the Kansas City Chiefs week 7.
So you're okay. Do you have when's the first? Do you have like that detail, like when the first loss is, or
for San Francisco?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at worst, it would be. I guess the thought process was San Francisco. If Kansas City starts hot, I know they play some tough teams early because they have Baltimore and Cincinnati the first 2 weeks. But if Kansas City starts 6-0, I would have San Francisco at home winning the revenge game in season at home against the Chiefs in week 7. And then at worst, I had San Francisco losing in Green Bay the week before Thanksgiving because that's a part of my Green Bay bet for LaFleur.
Okay.
So between week 7 and like week 12.
For the Niners, I have them for the first time in 5 years not finishing top 10 in total defense.
Ooh. Some concerns about that defensive coordinator position after Bill Belichick didn't take it, huh?
Was he offered it?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Shanahan said he offered him any role he wanted. On the defensive side, Bill turned him down.
He said, I will be your head coach.
You can be my offensive coordinator. I can get the wins record.
Yeah, he's like, this actually works out really good. Thanks for the opportunity. You're the offensive coordinator. I'm the head coach.
Any role I want to be the head coach. I want your job.
Hey, Kyle Shanahan could have had him. He just wouldn't be the head coach.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, hey, whenever I'm done, you can have your job back.
You have it right back. These
wins are going in my column.
Just need a few wins.
All right.
Seattle Seahawks. What do you got for the Seahawks?
Jackson Smith-Njigba leads the team in receptions.
I also have a receiving bet for the Seahawks. DK Metcalf gets his swagger back, finishes top 5 in receiving yards in the NFL this season.
In the league. You're feeling that offense. What's that guy's name? Ryan Grubb?
Well, they like to air it out, brother.
Yeah, I get it, Gino.
So he had the big influx in yards per catch last season. He was up around 16 yards per catch. He's about 300 yards away from being in the top 5. Top 5 last year was 1456. So I think he keeps the yards per catch totals high again, and gets maybe a little bit more run from a volume perspective.
All right. Third place 2022 Rams.
Yeah, this one, I like this one, and it was very surprising for the stat.
Okay.
Do you know where the Rams finished last year in turnovers?
No clue.
Defensively, they had 15. They were 30th in the league.
Not many.
I think they finished bottom 5 again.
Don't see the turnovers coming, huh?
Well, it's and the argument was it's a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
You lost Raheem Morris. Chris Shula is now the defensive coordinator. Don't really have a lot of ball hawk players in the secondary in general. So it's like I think they're going to be good. I just don't know anybody makes that monumental leap to kind of be the big play facilitator for turnovers in the defense this year.
I have the Los Angeles Rams finishing top 5 in the NFL in rushing yards.
Offense?
Yep.
Top 5? Do you know where they finished last year?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, they got Corum to go with Kyron Williams and
Jonah Jackson, and Avila to center. I was hoping that people would think, oh, Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, they're not going to want to run the ball. No,
they're going to want to run the ball.
Run the ball. Yep. Run that inside zone.
Okay. And then the Cardinals. What do you have for the Cardinals?
This might be my most aggressive one of all the teams. I have the Arizona Cardinals leading the NFL in rushing yards.
That is aggressive. They got a good stable of backs and Kyler.
Yeah, I think Kyler's
impact
have the
there. Colts in that spot with my Colts bolt.
I get it. Which quarterback stays healthy? We could be 1 and 2 here.
Right. Okay, that's fun. Mine kind of works against yours.
All right.
Cardinals have a worse scoring defense than last year.
Oh no.
They allowed 455 points last year, which was the worst single season total in franchise history. And I know it's another year with Gannon, but just look at the depth chart, look at the corners, look at all the mid-round picks that are rookies or second-year players, look at the second level of the defense, look at the defensive line, and tell me how it's going to be a good unit.
Wasn't this Robert Saleh in his first year with the Jets? It was like the worst defense in the history of the Jets.
Brian Flores did it too in Miami.
That's crazy. Defensive-minded coaches going in there.
And
the thing they're supposed to do. Nope, it's never been worse in the history of our organization than your first season.
Year one.
Thanks for being here. We were so excited.
And the argument that I made for it was this isn't an indictment of what the Cardinals have done in building their roster. I just think it's an indictment of how far they had to go when they started their process.
Well, and I think if you look at the rest of this division, 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, you kind of like their offenses, right?
Yep.
It's tough. That's a tough draw. And don't they play the NFC? They play us, right? The AFC East, right?
AFC East too. Yep.
I mean, Patriots, but I mean, three. You would think 3 good offenses and the rest of the teams there.
Right.
Yeah,
that's 9 games.
Right the smell test here wanted me to take that, but I might not. I see the DK.
Okay.
It might be it, Kyle. Even though I think that the Rams have a little bit more in their secondary in terms of takeaway guys, and I kind of like some of their young pass rushers. But the combination of that, new secondary, a lot of youth up front, new coordinator, that's not good. That's not helpful.
Yeah. And their best ball hawk's Trey White. What do you have in Trey White?
I'm encouraged.
And they lost Darren Kendrick for the season already.
Yeah, but don't they have Darius Williams? He's got decent ball skills. Jordan Fuller, Cameron Curl. How good's their front going to be?
Didn't Fuller leave?
Yeah, he went to Carolina. You're right. Yeah, I'm staying away from it. I think the only thing I'm taking here is DK.
Okay, I'm taking 49ers, not top 10 defense. I think the talent's too good.
Okay.
And I will take Cardinals lead the league in rushing.
Smart. If I was going to use a veto, I'd use it right there, but I'm not vetoing anything.
You're not vetoing anything.
No.
I'm vetoing one for sure.
All right. What are you taking? What are you?
I'm vetoing the DK.
Really? What if I didn't take that? Would you have used your veto? Do you like all the rest of it?
I would have vetoed Derek Brown.
Smart. Okay. Plenty of action here, Kyle Crabbs.
Right. In grand total, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of my bold bets you are on the books for. So I have 14 out of 32. You took me up on. Your bold bets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I have 16 of yours. I used 2 vetoes. So we each took each other up on half of their bets.
Let's go, baby.
So we have rooting interest almost for every team. Here are the teams, as we wrap this up, and I know we went long. Here are the teams that we do not have any action on between the two of us this season. The Miami Dolphins, the New York Jets, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Indianapolis Colts, the Chicago Bears, the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Washington Commanders, the Seattle Seahawks, and the LA Rams. Every other team, somebody's got something they're rooting for throughout the season. Good family fun here on Locked On NFL Scouting. I'm Kyle Crabbs. He's Joe Marino. You can find us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the training camp action as it comes. We will be back to talk to you all again on Monday. See you soon.